This is a IA paper, or you can simply say your PhD syllabus. This is a IA paper, or you can simply say your PhD synopsis or MPhil. I mean, when you're submitting proposal, and right now most of you are writing RM paper, research methodology paper. So these are simple things I am trying to explain you before, and let's just read. What is this? Let me just make its font big so we'll be able to read it clearly, right? Okay, so that way it will make easy for us to understand. So this is the topic which I am going to read: Dalits and the new media, rewriting caste and gender. This is it's an example. So let's just read out how we write it. From time immemorial, caste is a central feature of Indian social system. It has not only divided the society into upper and lower caste, but also have dehumanized a section of the society by calling them untouchables by the caste Hindus. After centuries of suffering in the hands of caste Hindus, the suppressed started to resist their oppressors. There is a long history of resistance against caste hierarchy. The first resistance emerged in the form of Lokayata, which was introduced by Charvak school of philosophy. This movement was a protest against the caste exploitation and denies the existence of God. Buddhism also organized as a resistance against the caste system. It rejected the philosophy of Vedas and propagated the importance of logic and reason. Now you see the topic is caste, Dalit and the new media, rewriting caste and gender. So in this, the student is trying to make caste system the introduction from the history and how this caste is starting. So you know what are the references? The reference of Charvak has come. The Charvak school of philosophy, which is old, which is not new. And you will find that this one is a footnote. So we will find out what is that footnote. So this movement was a protest against the caste exploitation and denied the existence of God. And then the reference of Buddhism is coming. So these are the student is trying to write it in a historical perspective. So how it was known as Lokayata, then the reference of Charvak is there, the reference of Buddhism is there. These are ancient things. Also organized resistance against the caste system. It rejected the philosophy of Vedas and propagated the importance of logic. Now the reference of Veda is there. So you can see these are the things I'm trying to explain you. When you start writing, try to give its historical perspective. And here we are able to see this difference. Propagated the importance of logic and reason. Later the Bhakti movement. Now Bhakti movement, Kabir, these are all historical perspective. Bhakti movement consisting of Saint Kabir, Ravidas, Namdev, Chokha Mela and others spread over a long period, were engaged in critiquing the caste system. So how this caste system is referred in earlier time and how the historical perspective is trying to given here. And others spread over a long period engaged in critiquing the caste system. In modern periods, Jyotiba Phule questioned the Brahmanical system and propounded a new model of social structure in his work Gulamgiri. So Gulamgiri was written in 1873. Okay, so 1873. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar engaged the new phase of resistance movement against tyrannical caste hierarchy. Indian constitution had legally abolished untouchability and declared caste discrimination as an offence. However, in the spirit of this is what the reference of the British India. However, in this spite, constitutional safeguard and brutal face of caste system remained an intrinsic character of Indian society. In Indian society, caste existed as a Hegemonic culture practice and it shapes the human consciousness in way that sometimes even the victims do not realize its control on their psyche. The constitutional provisions against the caste discrimination did not bring the desired change in society, but it is not the fault of constitution. Rather, it is fault of state machinery that is dominated by upper caste who perpetuated the status quo. Status quo means same is it, as it is. It is the result of the nexus between the rural, powerful, special and rich upper caste and government machinery that the atrocities against the lower caste are increasing over the year. Now then, this Sunduru carnage 1991 in Andhra Pradesh and Kharlanji incident of 2006 in Maharashtra, recently Dharmpuri incident in 2012 Tamil Nadu are some of the other examples of caste atrocities. Then in the present context, how this caste system is continuing is being given here. So you will find the reference of 1991, 2006 and 2012. So how the writer has actually done it in a very wonderful way. First you try to understand read the title, Dalit and the New Media, Rewriting Caste in Gender. Then we find it here how this, simple introduction that caste is a historical aspect and how this is being referred as historical perspective, Lokayut, Charvak, then Buddhism. Then we find the reference of Veda is there. Then the ancient time, Kabir, Ravidas, Namdev, Chokhamela, and then reference of Jyotirba Phule. I mean, these are the people who have actually done exclusive on the caste system. Then B.R. Ambedkar was a stalwart figure, and then reference of untouchability. And then how the impact on this caste system is on the psyche of the untouchables. And then the constitutional provisions which were there during British India. During British India, caste system was abolished. I mean, 1929. It was actually constitutionally. Officially it was abolished. It no longer no one can practice it. Okay. Then the reference of these practical events which has taken place, the event of Sunduru carnage 1991, then 2006 and 2012. So you can understand when you are writing your proposal, first of all try to define your topic. Okay, so Dalit is Dalit and new media. So first of all we are talking about Dalits actually. In this Dalit is how this Dalit is being formulated. The history is related to untouchability and caste system. So the introduction started with the caste system, untouchability. Then the reference of untouchability during ancient time. Then it's the people who fought against it, because it's a social reform movement. So the people who fought against it, the reference of those people is coming here. Then there are some events which has taken place and they are very serious abuse, serious implementation of this caste system, because of the caste these kind of atrocities happen. But before that we find that this Gulamgiri, which is one of the most primary text on caste system, Ambedkar has done a lot. And first it started with Jyotirba Phule and then we are coming here. Right, so in this way you have to understand your proposal. I mean, whenever you are writing, first try to understand, whatever topic you are writing, first try to give the origin and then try to give specific writers related to that, and then you give some basic text would be there or some events like for example, let me just give you another example. There was a protest in Manipur. Women protest in Manipur. You remember that some ladies, they went nude, and it was very popular. So I'm directly going in images and you just see. Now this is a protest which is very popular, Indian Army rapers, okay, and these were some old grey ladies. If you remember Manipuri women only for the nude protest against army, think again, okay. So this is what these elderly ladies were there, their grandmothers, and they stripped themselves and stood before the this Assam rifles, and it is clearly written, Indian Army rapers. So rape, you see this bleeding is there. So this is how, and this protest went so viral and it was so impactful. So if you want to write about this, if you want to write about this, this is what the reference I can tell you is, it was woman given Bendu nude fury in 17 Assam rifle at Kangla. Okay, the place is Kangla. So this is, so when you suppose if you want to write about this Kangla protest, then what you have to do, first go in the history of that women rape, okay, and how the army installment of army in Assam, and it's I think 40 to 50 years history you have to go for that. Then only we'll be able to understand it. So nothing is coming so easy. We have to actually understand the history, and then how this army was installed, deployed there, and then whatever major events through maybe newspaper archive or through some big highlights, you can show it properly, and then you give the basic examples, and there must be some fundamental books which would have come during that time. It would have talked about that protest. And so introduction, you just go. Don't make too large, don't make too long, but make it in a very simple way and in a very specific way. For example, when we are reading this, the writer has actually given, the student has only given, it's here. The student has only given for the basic thing, okay. First, the introduction is associated with the caste system. This from this portion to here you will find that it's from with the caste system from here, and then we find that how this it's coming in the ancient time. A reference of Veda is there, and then some of the significant people who opposed it, and it is being written. Kabir, Ravidas, Namdev, Chokhamela, they have written extensively on that. Then Jyotiba Phule's Gulamgiri, which is a more basic fundamental text, and then Ambedkar has written exclusively on that. So that's how we have to go for this. How you can actually go for this. So this is how, and you need not to be too elaborative, but be very specific. Then in Indian society, caste existed as a homogenic culture, practice, and it shapes the human consciousness in a way that sometimes even the victims do not realize its control on their psyche. The constitutional provisions against the caste discrimination did not bring the desired change in the society, but it is not the fault of the constitution, rather it is the fault of the state machinery that is dominated by the upper caste, who perpetuated the status quo. So upper caste always wanted the status quo, मतलब अपर कास्ट को है कि कास्ट सिस्टम होना चाहिए, और जो लोअर कास्ट है अनटचेबल्स है वो इसके विरोध में खड़े रहते हैं. तो कास्ट बना के रखने में अपर कास्ट का बेनिफिट है, बिकॉज उससे उनको एक डिग्निटी मिलती है, सेंस ऑफ एलिवेशन मिलता है, उनको सेंस ऑफ मॉरल मिलता है. मतलब आप ऊंचा तभी बनते हो ना जब कोई नीचा है, तो किसी को नीचा दिखा के आप ऊपर उठते हो. तो आपको ऊपर उठने के लिए किसी को नीचा दिखाना पड़ेगा, तो कोई तो हो जिसको आप नीचा दिखाओ. तो जो अनटचेबल्स है, जो कास्ट की वजह से जिनका सेपरेशन होता है, वो हमेशा इसके विरोध में खड़े रहते हैं, और जो अपर कास्ट है वो हमेशा कास्ट को मेंटेन करेंगे, वो इस कास्ट की हेजेमनी को, इसकी लीगेसी को कंटिन्यू करेंगे. बिकॉज जैसे कि जो क्रोन्जे हैं, जोफ्री क्रोन्जे, और ये रेफरेंस हमें कई उसमें उनकी टेक्स्ट में भी मिला है कि जोफ्री क्रोन्जे बेसिकली 3 चीज़ों को बात करते हैं. वो ये कि why, he's actually Geoffrey Grange is talking about the apartheid and Afrikaner. तो अफ्रीकानर में जो वाइट अफ्रीकन्स है, अफ्रीका में जो सफ़ेद लोग, गोरे लोग, मतलब वाइट लोग रहते हैं, उन्होंने अपार्थाइड को या रेस को मेंटेन इसलिए किया क्योंकि एक तो उनको होप रहती, सेंस ऑफ होप, कि मतलब हम एक, क्योंकि स्टेट का जितना भी रिसोर्स है, जितना भी बेनिफिट्स है, पॉलिटिक्स से लेकर के उसकी रिसोर्सेज से लेकर के सारे पे उनका कंट्रोल होता है, थ्रू पॉलिटिक्स दे कम एंड देन दे रूल। तो स्टेट रेवेन्यू, स्टेट का रिसोर्सेज या इंडस्ट्री सब पे कंट्रोल कर लेते हैं, और एक उनको इसमें एक डिग्निटी फील होती है, एक कनेक्शन फील होता है, मॉरली अपने आप को हाई रखते हैं, बिकॉज देन दे गेट द चांस टू यूटिलाइज ऑल द स्टेट मशीनरी, स्टेट रिसोर्सेज। तो अफ्रीकानर का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, क्रोन्जे जिसको बात करते हैं, क्रोन्जे कहता है कि जो वाइट लोग हैं वो हमेशा ही चाहेंगे कि रेसिज्म बना रहे, क्योंकि उसमें उनको अपने रिसोर्सेज को बांटने का प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता। लेकिन जो ब्लैक अफ्रीकन है वो चाहता है कि ये ख़त्म हो जाए ताकि उनका शेयर बढ़े, उनको इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले। तो इंडिया में कास्ट को हम हमेशा ही रेस से कंपेयर करते हैं, और जो रूल्स रेगुलेशंस रेस में लगाए वही कास्ट में है, और रेस ख़त्म हो गया। रेस में अभी बहुत कुछ चेंजेस है, लेकिन कास्ट अभी भी परपिचुअली चल ही रहा है। अब ऑन पेपर कुछ भी कहे या कुछ भी लिखे, लेकिन हकीकत में यह है कि आज भी हमारे अखबारों में मैट्रिमोनियल्स आते हैं, उनमें कास्ट का जिक्र है सारे में। जिस दिन अम्बेडकर ने कहा भी था, जिस दिन इस देश में शादियां बिना जात के होने लगेगी, और वो भी मेजॉरिटी में, जिस दिन आप कास्ट को देखकर शादी नहीं करेंगे, उसी दिन, जिसको कि अम्बेडकर इसको हेक्सोगेमस अभी सोसाइटी इंडोगेमस है। इंडोगेमस का मतलब कि सोसाइटी अपनी ही कम्युनिटी, अपनी ही कास्ट में मैरिज करती है, लेकिन जब वो एक्सोगेमस हो जाएगी तो उसमें जैसे रोटी बेटी का संबंध जिसको बोलते हैं, तो रोटी का संबंध में तो ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ठीक है, लेकिन बेटी का संबंध अभी भी इंटरकास्ट मैरिजेस, इंटर रिलीजियस मैरिजेस बहुत प्रॉब्लमेटिक है। तो ये हम इस तरह से आपको थोड़ा समझाना है, बहुत कंसाइज वर्ड्स में, बहुत स्पेसिफिक वे में आपको समझा देना। किसी अच्छे राइटर का आप रेफरेंस दे दें, कोई अच्छी टेक्स्ट बुक एक दो ले लें, तो उससे आपको ये बताने में आसानी हो जाएगी कि भाई जो टॉपिक मैंने लिया है, द टॉपिक विच आई हैव टेकन, दिस इज द बेसिक बुक, 2 or 3 आर द बेसिक बुक्स विच आई हैव रेड, and I know I know the background. This is what you can go for. And then ये जैसे प्रैक्टिकल इन्होंने इवेंट्स बता दिया जो कि बहुत पॉपुलर है। आप खैरलान जी इंसिडेंट 2006 अगर आप टाइप करेंगे तो यू कैन एक्चुअली गो एंड फाइंड आउट, बिकॉज बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा वीडियो हो जाएगा अगर हम हर चीज़ ढूंढने लगे तो मैं आपको सिंपल बता रही हूँ, मैं इमेजेस बता रही हूँ सिंपल, ठीक है ना। तो आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू द just images, okay, so let's not go for that. ये रहा खैरलान जी में किस तरह से this event happened. So these are the pictures I'm showing, okay, how that I think the family was burnt, पूरे परिवार को ही ख़त्म कर दिया था। तो right, एंड ये देखो धर्मपुरी इवेंट इन तमिलनाडु, राइट। तो दीज आर द थिंग्स विच यू कैन इजीली फाइंड आउट, ओके। सो आई एम जस्ट शोइंग यू वेरी स्मॉल पार्ट ऑफ दिस एंड दीज आर द इमेजेस, ओके। So if you just type it and just if you go to all, then you will find that in 2012 Dharmpuri violence, a Vaniyar caste mob set fire to about 268 Dalit houses in Natham, old and new Kondampati and Ananagar Dalit colonies in Dharmpuri district, Tamil Nadu. तो किस तरह से लोगों का पूरा घर ही जला दिया। और ये अभी कुछ इवेंट्स हैं जो आप बता दें, उसके बाद अब आगे बढ़ते हैं। मोस्ट ऑफ द दलित्स आर लैंडलेस लेबरर एंड सेंस फॉर देयर सर्वाइवल मेड टू डिपेंड ऑन देयर रिच अपर कास्ट। This vulnerable situation of the Dalit might have changed if the land distribution policy would have been implemented properly by the Indian state after independence. But it did not happen. The situation of Dalit, except a slight change, remain in the same. More than 90% of 250 million Dalits who live in village face a war-like situation for accessing the basic amenities like water, food, shelter. Many people like G. Aloysius, Gopal, Guru, Rajkumar, these are the professors, okay, they have done exclusive work on caste system. Professor Rajkumar is in Department of English, Delhi University, and Satyanarayan and many more have brought the plight of the caste operation in their works in fast emerging field of Dalit studies. They are mainly concerned with the issues of exploitation and victimization of Dalits. But the question of Dalit and new media, either by the Dalit scholar or by the upper caste, I feel has not been properly addressed. This is the area in which I want to look at through my research. Now, अब देखो यहाँ पे रिसर्चर क्या कह रहा है. यहाँ पे रिसर्चर कहता है कि बहुत कुछ लिखा गया है, अब बहुत कुछ हुआ है, हिस्ट्री ये है, सारी चीज़ें, लेकिन फिर भी मुझे लगता है कि इसमें कुछ काम नहीं हुआ है, which I want to focus. Okay, so यहाँ पे here you bring out your issue in this, why you are choosing this topic, why this is so significant for you. So what is that? I feel has not properly addressed. Okay, this is the area which I want to look through my research. Here I want to explore the participation of Dalit in contemporary media. अब देखिए, अभी तक हमने जो किया, कास्ट के बारे में बात कर ली, उसका हिस्टोरिकल पर्सपेक्टिव बता दिया, उसका एक टेक्स्ट हमने अच्छी तरह बता दिया, उसकी इवेंट्स बता दी जो उसको दिखाते हैं कि ये इशू मेजर है. अब इसमें जो स्कॉलर है, जो जिसका भी ये प्रपोजल है, वो ये दिखाना चाहता है आगे कि आप दलित और न्यू मीडिया में आज का जो भी आपका OTT प्लेटफॉर्म है या सोशल मीडिया है, जिसमें फेसबुक आ गई, इंस्टाग्राम आ गया, यूट्यूब आ गया और प्रिंट मीडिया आ गया, ई मीडिया आ गया, तो ये सारे जो मीन्स अवेलेबल है, इसमें वो देखना ये चाह रही है कि ये देखना चाह रहा है कि वहाँ पे इसका क्या प्रेजेंटेशन है. और इस पूरे प्रपोजल में जो स्कॉलर है उसने यूट्यूब के थ्रू और एक मतलब राउंड टेबल 2-3 मीडिया दलित का जो रिप्रेजेंटेशन करने वाले वेबसाइट्स हैं, यूट्यूब चैनल है, उसके थ्रू इसमें उन्होंने द पर्सन इज ट्राइंग टू ब्रिंग दिस फोकस. तो ये जो हाउ दिस द टॉपिक इज बीइंग जस्टिफाइड. So you just try to understand. It's a very interesting topic. और ये देखो टॉपिक फॉर दलित एंड द न्यू मीडिया रीराइटिंग कास्ट एंड जेंडर. तो न्यू मीडिया में किस तरह से कास्ट और जेंडर को फिर से लिखा जा रहा, और न्यू मीडिया में उन्होंने लिया है यूट्यूब, गूगल और आपका डिफरेंट वेबसाइट्स रिलेटेड टू दैट. तो ये प्रेजेंट मतलब आप यू कैन सिंपली से दिस इज रिलेटेड टू सोशल मीडिया, right? So that is what the new thing we are bringing. And okay, अब यहाँ पे आप देख लेते हैं, ठीक है. हाँ, so most of Dalits are landless laborers and hence for their survival made to depend on the rich upper caste. This vulnerable situation of Dalit might have changed if the land distribution policy would have been implemented properly by the Indian state after independence, but it did not happen, and the situation of Dalit, except a slight change, remained in the same. More than 90% of 250 million Dalits who live in villages face a war-like situation, even for accessing the basic amenities like water, food and shelter. अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि ये देखो, ये जो दे रखा ना, ये सारे वो है रेफरेंसेस हैं, तो इस तरह आपको रेफरेंसेस देने पड़ेंगे. इसमें ये देखिए जो नंबर दे रखा ना, दीज आर ऑल फुट नोट्स. सो वी विल कम नीचे, फिर हम देखेंगे इसमें फुट नोट किस तरह से दिया है. तो 250 मिलियन अनटचेबल्स हैं, दलित्स हैं, जो कि वॉर लाइक सिचुएशन फेस करते हैं. मेनी पीपल लाइक G. Aloysius, Gopal, Guru, Rajkumar, Satyanarayan and many more brought a plight of the caste oppression. But the question and the new media, either by the Dalit scholar and the upper caste, I feel has not been properly addressed. This is the area in which I want to look at through my research. Hence, I want to explore this participation of Dalit in contemporary media. तो अब मेन क्या है? Participation of Dalits in contemporary media. इतने कैसे इतने YouTube चैनल है जो दलित्स की बात करते हैं, कौन सी ऐसी वेबसाइट्स हैं जो एक्सक्लूसिव कास्ट सिस्टम को एड्रेस करती है, ये इन स्कॉलर का काम है. With specific reference to new media, my main argument would be the new media has also been a tool for resistance of Dalits in India. They have been able to use the possibility of new media, which does not require much resource, too much capital, represent themselves unlike never before. This has helped them to rewrite the discourse of the caste and gender and intervene in the public sphere of the India. Rational and scope of study. अब यहाँ पे आपने अपनी स्टडी के बारे में बात करनी. You can simply write the same thing. Definition, rational and scope of study. What this scholar is going to do? What is the definition he is trying to give? What will be the rationale behind that? And what is the scope of the society? According to the Ambedkar, one of the reasons for the conspiracy of news about the oppressed people in the media was a low number of oppressed people in the media and upper caste domination. He was aware of the ownership phenomena which plays a major role in determining the news. 9 Dalits of all through history have struggled for the space in media. New media has come as a new found platform for them to express their pain in the world and also for developing their own perspective on important issues. It was in 1970 that the new media emerged, mainly fueled by the growth in internet, posing a challenge to existing newspaper, magazine and television in the print media in the second wave and with globalization. New media digitation and convergence of media change the scenario. User-generated content, interactivity, audience participation, flexibility are the major features of internet and new media today. So what is this? Why this topic is being taken? Because there are user-generated content. Generally, users are generating the content. Interactivity is there because if you go for YouTube, you can actually write your comment. Audience participation is there, major flexibility. So these are many features where you find participating, and that's why mostly people like to watch YouTube rather than any film, because in YouTube you can skip ad, you can change your choice what you want to see. So wherever anybody who is feeling participation, then only people want to see it. So you remember पहले जब टेलीविज़न होता था तो उसमें ऐड आता था और आप ऐड को स्किप नहीं कर सकते थे, ठीक है ना. और आज का ये है कि आप ऐड को स्किप कर लो. तो अभी एक नया वर्ड यूज़ होता है, कोड कटर. तो अभी जो वो केबल वाला सिस्टम है ख़त्म हो रहा है और मोस्टली इंटरनेट के थ्रू लोग वीडियो यूट्यूब पे देखना पसंद करते हैं, या जो OTT प्लेटफॉर्म है उस पे लोग ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं, बिकॉज वो फ्लैक्सिबिलिटी, आप जब चाहो उसको बंद कर दो, पॉज कर दो, रिवाइंड करो, और आप यू कैन राइट कमेंट्स ऑल्सो, सो मेनी थिंग्स यू कैन डू. सो इट्स ए ऑडियंस पार्टिसिपेशन इज मोर सिग्निफिकेंट. और हियर what is a basic idea which this scholar is taking, ki how this new media in which Google, different websites and YouTube, how these are representing Dalit situation or how much they are inclusive. This is all. So primarily it's a presentation and participation. The new media provide much freedom and flexibility and mainstream media to generate and disseminate idea. The excluded communities and group all over the world realize the scope, opportunities and possibilities of new media, and they start using them to express their experience through ideas and concepts. Dalit in India use new media to promote their ideologies and questions the mainstream social, political and cultural sphere. Dalits write blogs and create websites. Okay, so this is what the basic thing, Dalits write blogs, create websites and express their views through the public. So this is what the scholar is trying to find out, that what is the means right now, what are the present means through new media. New media में this is OTT हो गया, and all these websites, Google, other search engines are there. That's what the participation of untouchables and Dalits in that. As a part of my study, I would like to select 2 web portals and their perception on the Dalit issue. These are, अब इन्होंने 2 लिया, देखिए सावरी लिया एक इन्होंने और राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस. अब ये सावरी और राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस क्या है, ये इन्होंने इस फुटनोट के थ्रू बता दिया है आगे कि व्हाट इज दिस. सो दैट ऑल्सो यू कैन सिंपल डिस्क्रिप्शन लिखना है छोटा सा. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ दलित्स आर यूजिंग न्यू मीडिया फॉर देयर emancipation. Savari is women as web portal exclusively run by Adivasi Bahujan Dalit women. Okay, in this web portal, these groups of women were exposed to many rich debates among the non-upper caste women regarding their status in contemporary society. Roundtable India is a web portal of Ambedkarite movement. The portal offers articles related about Dalit lives with the pictures, images through one can read India's history of caste-based discrimination. These portals represent new perspective for Dalit studies and turn to be larger platform for young Dalit scholars and teachers. These groups have refused to accept the status quo as maintained by the upper caste Hindu. Most of their writings in the websites come from their individual experiences, therefore carried collective experience. They also become the reading source to Dalit large community. Dalit in these portals discuss and debate various problems that are primary concern to their community. Among the various subjects, caste and gender oppression is concerned to be one of the main areas of my focus. In my project, I don't want to remain confined to web portals. Here in the project, I would like to study a YouTube channel, okay, and that is what Dalit camera through untouchable eyes. This is YouTube channel started to upload video depicting contributions of the grassroots level activists and also cover various issues concerning the Dalit, Adivasi, Bahujan, Muslim, other minorities. B. Ravi Chandra started Dalit Camera by making a documentary against the attack on Dalit woman who was a Panchayat president. This channel aimed to bring unheard voices of marginalized into public domain, which is otherwise dominated by the corporate Hindutva mainstream media. I will also use my own proposal experience as a Dalit woman. My MPhil dissertation which I did on Dalit women literature in looking at issue of the caste and gender new media. Moreover, the experience I have at working at Savari Dalit Bahujan Adivasi Women web portal for the past 2 years, where I was exposed to many rich debates among non-upper caste women regarding their status in contemporary society, will also support and guide me in this endeavor. Theoretical background, historical Dalit made several attempts. So this heading you can put. Historically, Dalit made several attempts to gain a hold in media's space. The media is also responsible to empower, enrich and democracy through promoting pluralism and diversity. Media plays as a role of voice of the people, and they must ensure that every section of society is represented with the any bias. But despite such concepts on the role of media, the media in India failed to represent properly the Dalit cause of exploitation and oppression. In awakening these pathetic situations, Dalit came forward to their own communication through newspaper and magazine. Pandit C. Jyothi Thas was the foremost Tamil scholar, journalist, cultural critic, native physician, Buddhist and precursor of anti-Brahmin politics in Tamil Nadu. He belongs to one of the marginalized Tamil communities, Periyar. In 1907, he started Tamil weekly Oru Paisa Tamilan. After the year, name was changed to Tamilan. It was edited, published and owned by Pandit Jyothi Thas. The Tamilian was the most renowned journalist on Dalit print history because of its rich content and ideology. The 4 pages weekly was published on every Wednesday in tabloid size. He wrote the series of articles on social and religious issues. The journal carried letter to editor, article, memoranda, circular, etc. He was an important initiative to protest against caste discrimination, propagated Buddhist ideology and reclaimed the original identity of proposed Dalit. Later on, Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy, a well-known social reform of the early 20th century, began to publish against caste hierarchy, introduced self-prospect movement in 1925. He made a significant contribution for women's emancipation. He objected the old tradition of Devadasi, which was nothing but the religiously legitimized prostitution of Dalit women. He encouraged people to stop giving their daughters for the Devadasi system. He advised the young men to marry with Devadasi, the temple dancers. He criticized the institution of marriage and promoted the equality of women. He launched a series of self-respect journals. His publications made a significant contribution to counter the Brahmin domination in literary world. He recognized the complexity of upper caste press publication like the Hindu and countered such publication, introduced the self-respect journals as Kudi Arasu 1925 and Purachi 1933. Ambedkar recognized the problems of Dalits to recognize and make Dalits aware. Ambedkar felt a need for some journal or newspapers. Ambedkar was also a successful journalist, provided a platform for social revolution through his newspapers. 1933, it is also important for Gandhi started Harijan to propagate the cause of untouchables. The Indian media then admired Gandhi's journalism, did not address the labors for Ambedkar for his people like Phule. Ambedkar strongly believed that journal and newspapers could bring about change in lives of millions and oppressed people, and took initiative to publish certain journals and newspapers. He launched a series of newspapers, namely Mook Nayak, Mute Hero 1920, Bahishkrit Bharat, the India Ostracized 1927, Janta Masses 1930, and Prabuddha Bharat and Awakened India 1956. He also contested the caste hierarchy through literary works. He wrote comprehensive critiques of the plays such as Khara Brahma, The Real Brahmin, and Prabodhankar Thakre and Dhakkan Cha Diva, The Light of Deccan by Yashwant Tipnis. It was during the British Raj that some Dalits under the enterprise of Christian missionary began to get education, and following Dalit men, Dalit women also entered into the arena of education which thousands years ago caste Hindu had closed for them. After independence and constitutional provisions have been made to ensure the representation of Dalit women, the education not only brought new insights among Dalit women but also strengthened them to speak about themselves. Dalit women writing opened yet another window to look Dalit lives more closely. Dalit women, as a victim of three oppressive systems, caste, class and gender, she turned her lean words to picture their old agony, and it is only because of the education that they began to articulate their suffering through writings. With the help of education, they have understood the politics of Hindu religion and culture, and that the reason why they have started working against Sati Savitri image of Indian women. They became part of non-Brahmin intellectuals and worked for better society. Dalits, through gaining education from the colonial force and political training under the leadership of Periyar and Ambedkar, had emerged as an independent identity. Dalit, as a part of articulating their identity problem, they have chosen various platforms to address their concern. In my study, I will aim at the bringing out from the work of both of Dalit scholars and critics of the dominant ideology of upper caste, religious system and institutions of family and patriarchy in Dalit communities, their engagement with Dalit subjectivity in politics of leaders and movement. I would make use of literary work like Dalits and other social studies and theoretical accounts towards it. By gaining education, Dalit women along with their men realized the scopes, opportunities and possibilities of new media, and they started using them to express their experience through ideas and concepts. Dalit all through the history have struggled for space in India. Now our new media has turned a found platform for them to express their agony and pain to larger world, and also developing their own perspective on different issues. The new media provide much freedom and flexibility than mainstream media to generate and disseminate ideas. The excluded communities and groups all over the world realize the scope, opportunities and possibilities of new media, and they started using of them to express their experience through ideas and concepts. Dalit in India use new media to promote their ideologies and question the mainstream socio-political and cultural sphere. Dalits started blogs and websites and expressed their emotions and through to the public. Robin Jeffrey, traditional media in India played a negative role in construction of the Dalit question. Further, I will also try to show how Dalit theoretical voices yet to gain mainstream acceptance, how even now non-Dalits are speaking for Dalits. In addition to these primary sources, I will use secondary sources to theorize Dalit subjectivity. This is very significant that you have to write down about the secondary sources. because till the time what we are talking about primary sources, Dalit subjectivity. The secondary sources of data come from three sources, like first Dalit scholars like Gopal Guru, second non-Dalit women like Sharmila Rege, and the third Dalit women like Urmila Pawar. एंड हाइपोथेसिस, अब हाइपोथेसिस लेके चलते हैं. हाइपोथेटिकल मतलब एक पहले से एक बिलीफ और सोच है, उसको पहले बताना ज़रूरी. सो दलित राइटिंग represent new discourse on caste and gender. These attempts have emerged in contrast to the centuries of oppression combined with portrayal that have suited the oppressors. My study aimed for an engagement with construction of Dalit images in different historical account, and now the oppressed themselves have started to reconstruct real image of Dalit in newer public sphere. This proposal attempt to survey and critique the mainstream media perspective and at same time theorize perspective of Dalit in new media, and tries to look at how it engage with specific in their life struggle. I intend to develop a perspective by expanding the existing theoretical work of Dalit by studying literary text, sociological account, and also new portal that provide a free and unfettered space for Dalit. Research questions. Now this is significant part, because when you are doing research, even if it is for IA paper or a synopsis or PhD, I think these are the basic things which you need to write down, and it is definitely going to help you in a much positive way. So research questions क्या क्या लिखें? What are the issues? What are the issues and problems with regard to Dalits in new media? Okay, how do Dalit receive and respond to media presentation and representation? What is the role of new media in democratizing public space? How do Dalits attempt to deconstruct and reconstruct their own image, and how do they rewrite caste and gender using new media? Research methodology में क्या लिखा? In my in my project, I would use the content and textual analysis method. The research methodology will also engage in an extensive and intensive study of the autobiography, sociological accounts, and web portals, drawing upon the insight from the contemporary socio-critical discourse analysis. The approach and strategies used in this exploration of Dalit literature will be eclectic ones. There will also be relevant criticism, a citation from the secondary sources to support the argument of the project. अब chapterization tentative देने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. आप अगर आईए पेपर लिख रहे हैं तो कोई ज़रूरी नहीं, लेकिन फिर भी आप दे दें तो अच्छा ही है. टेंटेटिव होता है कि एक मतलब आपके दिमाग में एक आइडिया है कि हाँ ये मैं चैप्टर रखने हैं. सो इट्स नथिंग, लेटर ऑन यू कैन चेंज ऑल्सो. इसमें जो आप टेंटेटिव देते हैं ना, it's not like static that if you once you have given then you have to work on that also. When you are studying again and when you are just developing new concepts या new understanding, तो आप अपने टॉपिक को बदल भी सकते हैं. चैप्टर को स्पेशली यू कैन चेंज इट. दिस इज ऑल आई मीन दिस इज व्हाट टेंटेटिव है ये सारा. सो चैप्टर 1 में है इंट्रोडक्शन, इंट्रोड्यूसिंग द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ द टॉपिक. चैप्टर 2 फाइटिंग फॉर एवरी इंच दैट स्ट्रगल टू सिक्योर स्पेस इन मीडिया. 3 caste study of Saveri, case study of round table. चौथा हो 5 है case study of Dalit camera. A conclusion में concluding argument specifically focusing on the insight gathered for case study. So ये मैंने एक सिंपल आपको एक प्रपोजल दिखाया है जिसमें कि आप I mean you can understand कि कैसा होता है. ये कोई बहुत I mean this is not the only thing which you need to do. इससे भी डिफरेंट वे में आप लिख सकते हैं. यू कैन फाइंड आउट डिफरेंट मैथड्स ऑल्सो, और भी मेनी मोर थिंग्स यू कैन एक्चुअली यू नो ऐड ऑल्सो. तो बट ये कि एक सिंपल बेसिक प्रपोजल है जिसमें आपको कैसे करना. देखिए शुरू से मैं बताती हूँ, ये टॉपिक है और उसके बाद इसमें थोड़ा सा हिस्टोरिकल पर्सपेक्टिव दिया है, उसके बाद अपनी चीज़ों को समझाने की कोशिश की है, फिर कंटेम्प्रेरी उसमें प्रेजेंटेशन दे दिया, जो बेसिक टेक्स्ट है प्राइमरी वो डिस्कस कर दिए, उसके बाद आपकी स्टडी का स्कोप क्या है, आप कर क्यों रहे. क्योंकि आज के टाइम में व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग योर प्रपोजल टुडे, you know you have to be very cautious. Everything if you are taking from internet, then you have to go for the जो आपका प्लेजरिज्म है, प्लेजरिज्म या कॉपी पेस्ट जो मटेरियल आप ले रहे हैं, तो यू हैव टू गो थ्रू द प्लेजरिज्म. प्लेजरिज्म में कंप्यूटर साफ साफ बता देगा कि आपने कहाँ से कॉपी किया है. सो द प्लेजरिज्म परसेंटेज मस्ट बी वेरी लेस देन 5%. एंड फॉर दैट मैटर यू हैव टू राइट एवरीथिंग ऑन योर ओन. आप कहीं से कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं लिख सकते. ह्यूमैनिटीज़ में भी आप कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं कर सकते. सो मेक इट ओरिजिनल, राइट इट, यू रीड एंड देन राइट इन योर ओन वर्ड्स विच इज़ ऑलवेज ऑथेंटिक एंड वेरी गुड. ठीक है. उसके बाद आपका हाइपोथेसिस क्या है, टेंटेटिव सब्जेक्ट क्या है, टेंटेटिव चैप्टर क्या है आपके, ये सारी चीज़ें आप कर सकते हैं. तो ये देखिए, अब इसमें एक ही थियोरेटिकल बैकग्राउंड क्या है इस राइटिंग का, क्यों ऐसा लिखा है. थियोरेटिकल बैकग्राउंड में उन्होंने लिखा है कि भाई स्पेस नहीं मिला है या प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं हुआ, तो अब किस तरह का प्रेजेंटेशन हो रहा है. और उसके बाद ये सारे जो भी उनका मतलब प्रिंट मीडिया में जो भी हिस्ट्री है वो बता दी है. उसके बाद टेंटेटिव क्वेश्चंस उन्होंने चैप्टराइजेशन बता दिया है, हाइपोथेसिस क्या है इसका, क्या सोच के चलते हैं लोग और क्या इसमें चेंजेस आने वाला. फिर ये रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस है, कौन कौन से रिसर्च